So here we want to find dy over dx, and we are given x squared plus y squared equal to square root of 7. Here this is called an implicit function, which means that y is an implicit function of x. So what we want to do now is differentiate this term. So we differentiate both sides. So d dx of x squared plus y squared, and then d dx dy dx of square root of 7. So first, to differentiate the left side, this is just 2x and then 2y, and we use the chain rule to take the derivative of y. That's dy over dx. Again, this is the chain rule, and the derivative of a constant is just 0. Now what we want to do is solve for dy dx. So I'm gonna move 2x to the other side, and then I'm gonna divide both sides by 2y. I'm gonna end up minus x over y. That's dy dx. It's also written as y prime. This example can be solved in a different way. We have to write first dy dx in a different way. So we're gonna write it in d over dx of y. So what I'm gonna do first is solve for y, and then second differentiate in terms of x. So first solve for y. So I'm just moving x squared to the other side, and then I'm gonna raise both sides to the power of half, which translates to a square root. Now we have y, so we move to the second step, which differentiate that in terms of x. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna apply the chain rule, but we need to rewrite that function in terms of half. So the half will become the bottom. This is using the power rule, and then subtracted by 1, so it become minus half, and then the inside function will be, the derivative will be minus 2x. So now we are simplifying. The minus 1/2 will go to the bottom and become a square root, and then end up by negative x. Now the bottom term is y. Therefore we can write minus x over y, and this will be exactly the same as we did in the first way. Here we have this function x squared plus y squared equal to 8, and we want to differentiate it. So what we're gonna do is differentiate both sides. So 2x plus 3y squared, and multiply by the inside function, which is dy dx. Derivative of constant is just 0. Now we want to solve for dy dx, so we're gonna move 2x to the other side, and then we are going to divide over 3y squared. So now we end up with dy dx. This is the short way. There is another way that involves 2 steps. So dy over dx can be written as d over dx of y. So first we have to find y, and then second we differentiate that in terms of x. So first again we solve for x, for y, pardon me. X squared plus y cubed equal to 8. So we're gonna move x squared to the other side, and then what we're gonna do is raise both sides to the power of 1 over 3. Now we already solved for y. Therefore, we are ready to move to the next step, which is to differentiate that term in terms of x. So gonna be d over dx of 8 minus x squared all over 1 over 3. Here, to differentiate this term, we need to use the chain rule. So the power 1/3 will be go down and subtracted by 1, and then we take the derivative of the inside, which is negative 2x. Then 1 over 3 minus 1 gonna be minus 2 over 3. So we write that function gonna be 2 over 3, 8 minus x squared, and then to the power of minus 2 over 3. Then don't forget the x, and it's a negative value from minus 2x. Now what we do is, notice that 8, we have to move what's inside the parentheses to the bottom. That's what I'm just doing in here. So 8 minus x squared will be 2 raised to the 2 over 3. And then I want to write that in terms of 8 minus x squared all over 1 over 3, and then all over squared. Why? Because what you notice now, what's inside the parentheses is just y. So we can substitute by this term in y. Gonna be y squared. So it's gonna be minus 2x over 3y squared. And this is exactly what we found using the first way. Here we have this function x squared plus xy minus y squared plus xy squared. We want to differentiate that term. So what I notice that xy and the other side xy squared, differentiate these terms, we need to use the product rule. So I'm gonna use the product rule to differentiate these terms, and then I'm gonna differentiate the whole term after I found these. So to differentiate xy, the derivative of x is 1 multiplied by the derivative by the y function. So remember the product rule. I'm just applying the product rule in here. So that term gonna be y plus x dy over dx, and the second term will be, so again we want to differentiate this. The derivative of x is 1, then multiply by the second function, and the derivative of the first function will multiply by the derivative of y squared, which is 2y dy over dx. Just simplifying in here. Now after we found these terms, we are ready to differentiate the whole term. So gonna be 2x and then plus what we found here, gonna be y plus x dy over dx, and then minus 3y squared. I'm using the chain rule, so it's gonna be dy over dx, and then equal to what we found in the second product rule, y squared plus 2xy dy over dx. Now I'm gonna move this term to the other side so I can factor the term dy dx and solve for it, and then I'm gonna move these two terms on the right to the left. So x dy dx, and then I'm gonna bring that the other side, so gonna be minus 2xy dy dx. Then do not forget this term, which is minus 3y squared dy dx. Now the other side gonna be y squared and minus 2x minus y. Now we can factor dy dx on the left side. So dy dx will be x minus 2xy minus 3y squared, and same right side terms. Now I'm gonna divide both sides to what's in front of dy dx.